Corla. First of all, in relation to the amendment, I think the amendment is a good amendment for the simple reason regulation is a dangerous thing. For the simple reason, in the dark of night, a minister can sign whatever they want if there's regulation behind them, while they don't have to come into the Dáil. And what has to happen then is that you have to go to the courts, I think, within 6 months to challenge a regulation, which is, you know, and people might bring up something to you a month's time that you mightn't have a bull's clue about was within the regulation, and bar going to the court, there's no other way of resolving it. And I think when you're given powers, and powers through regulation, you have to be ferociously careful. And Minister, there's one thing, and in Concordia I want to say I'm staying on the amendment, but it's connected to the amendment. I had a person, and this is, you know, when we put stuff into a bill or into regulation, we have to watch the knock-on effects. I have a person that's 20 months that they didn't go outside the door because they have anaphylactic shock. That's what they can get. And they're so fed up mentally, they have a young family, they're so fed up that it wasn't advised by their doctor to get a vaccine. And that person is gone to the stage that they never had a weekend away because they can go nowhere. They weren't able to, basically, the person wasn't able to bring their kids, and the woman said to me, she says, my own relations look at me as if I'm different. And last Sunday, that person went to Roscommon through desperation, after not sleeping a week, not knowing whether she'd have the reaction, but she was going to take it against advice, just to get to bring her family somewhere for Christmas. And then she was told when she went down, which is, I don't know about it, we haven't an emergency department here, and we haven't the gear here, because it was with all the best, as they were doing their best, the people that was there. It was out in a community centre, and we're not near a hospital, and we wouldn't have the gear. So you better wait, and we'll see, and sure, we'll ring Galway, and you might have to go to Galway, and we'll see what'll happen. And I think we try and legislate here, but there's an awful lot of people we don't think of when we're doing things, that we make them basically scapegoats in society. That's a genuine, ordinary person living in an ordinary part of Ireland doing ordinary things. And that's why I'm saying in regulation, like there's regulations there attached to a bill, and all the different regulations that a minister can sign without anyone in here then once the regulations are basically put into force, they can sign any time they want. And I think that we have to be awful careful the type of powers that we're leaving on some. I'm not saying that you'll go crazy mad or anything, but I'm just saying to any minister, I saw the Habitats Directive was signed in at 20 to 1 in the morning years ago, and it was the bane, and now is the bane of our lives right around rural Ireland. And these are the things, the consequences of not having enough of scrutiny in here on things. Thank you. I'm not going to take up any more time.
Deputy Fitzmaurice.